We've been having a lot of fun and making good progress on SpecIO. We're now up to 1.1.1 as a pro version. A lot of that's thanks to Ross Barefoot, also known as Roscoe. He's been diligently testing it. He pushes the limits, requests new features, and has been giving me lots of files in order to test things with and be compatible with. It's thanks to him a lot of the new features are in there, and he's also created a mascot and test file specifically for the add-on. And I will put his ArtStation link in the links below, but also really appreciate all the work that he's done to help support this this little product. And that's how I like to work. Please join us on Discord and put in your features if you have them. Here's an example of a complex design Roscoe has provided with the default Blender SVG import. You can see the usual problems. Everything's flat. I can even go to material mode here, and it's just not going to do much. It's going to have the basic materials, and it's going to be very difficult to separate everything out, and it just doesn't come in looking very good. Now here's the same file imported with SpecIO, and you can see everything's still flat, but that's because I haven't done the stack yet. We've got this stack action, so with that file selected, I'm just going to hit apply, and then we're going to go to material mode because there are special materials included, and you can see how it comes in with the rendered order that it should have, and everything has a little bit of height to it and stuff so that you can easily select things, but you can pick them up by layer and stuff too, but this should be much easier to use for complex files. I'm going to use a much simpler file for demoing some new features. This one also came from Roscoe, but we will stack these, and then we have to go to the material view again in order to see them with opacity. So these have some SVG styles in it that previously we couldn't deal with when we imported into Blender. I don't think anything else does. And there's a few things with the styles now. For one thing, all the styles are imported as custom properties. So you can use these in nodes and do creative things with it if you have your own way of dealing with opacity. And then anything that has these styles can be now selected through here. So here we're going to select everything that has the opacity style applied. Let's do this. And you can see that we've got all the ones with opacity as a custom property are shown. And this one does not have it. This one does, right? Something that was in the last major version of SpecIO was the ability to do a quick extrude. So I'll just go ahead and grab all those again. And then I will select the extrude action and go ahead and apply it. And you can see they all got the height that was specified, and it used their previous stack height as a starting point, and I find that this is a good combination. All right, now we have the ability to add Geo Nodes or materials to everything that's selected. So I will show that, but I will just go ahead and selecting everything by style again. All right, so here we are. And if we say add Geo Nodes, we don't have any. Right, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to add one just to get to this point. You can already have them in your scene, append them from another file, whatever. In the future, we will add some that are useful. But for now, here's a little default one for an example. We'll go back, we'll select all the ones with opacity, and we will say apply those Geo Nodes. And now you can see that all of these have those Geo Nodes applied. So this can be very beneficial if you need to apply a Geo Node group, say for stroke width, which is not supported by anything currently, but it can be done through Geo Nodes. Or you wanted to do it, for anything else. And then when you do go to set up those Geo Nodes, you now have the custom properties to reference them as well. So that combination should allow for some interesting things. You also have the ability to update the materials. So we will just do the same demo. We'll select everything by opacity. And we'll say add material. List the materials here. We'll set everything to the same material. Now this is a weird one. For some reason you have to click here for it to take effect. But now you can see that they all have the same material. So hopefully that makes sense and will enable some future content. Finally, I want to point out that we can do lots of things with the add-on that have nothing to do with SVG. It's especially useful if you're doing curves. But let's say you want to extrude everything selected and use this utility to do it. It doesn't matter if it came in from an SVG or not. You can still do it here. Right? Same thing with adding Geo Nodes to a bunch of things or adding materials. As long as the objects can take it and the materials or Geo Nodes are in the scene, then you can bulk apply them from the tool. So while they're useful for the SVG workflow, they can be useful elsewhere.